This began a long time ago, when the Buddhists of Tibet discovered a system to identify their future religious leaders as young children. Believed to be reincarnations of former religious leaders, these children, at a very young age, are immersed in a rigorous 20-year education. And so it would have been for this boy, Gendon Chökyi Nyima, the 11th Panchen Lama. Known as the second most important religious figure in Tibet, he is the center of a swirling storm of international controversy.
You know, freedom is cheaper than oppression. It seems so obvious.
I think the issue of the Panchen Lama really centers around the question of control. Now, of course, the Communist Party has no authority in these matters. It's preposterous to think of them choosing, through divination and dreams and oracles and whatever, a reincarnation, but the question of control is paramount.
我想有两种可能性，一个是共产党现在自己选定了一个班禅喇嘛，这个班禅喇嘛就是共产党自己选了一个，代替这个，他把那个抓起来，把他自己弄了一个班禅喇嘛。这个班禅喇嘛，当然说将来有可能不会得到整个宗教界的承认，但是他还有第二手办法，就是说他已经把那个达赖喇嘛选定的班禅喇嘛抓起来了，完了他们安排的一个环境。 他们从小进行教育、进行控制，将来这个班禅喇嘛长大了，很可能也在他们的控制之中。所以说，现在共产党的方法就是说，班禅喇嘛不管你选定哪一个，都在他的控制之中。
If there are circumstances where tomorrow a new Dalai Lama has to be identified. And we have still not liberated Tibet, and the Tibetans are not in charge of their own affairs, then you can rest assured that the Chinese will identify Dalai Lama also. So the issue is much bigger than just looking at the Panchen Lama and where is he and how do we get him out. The issue is much bigger than that.
Once upon a time, refugee meant somebody who had a refuge, found a place, a haven. Find refuge. Refugee today means somebody who has no home, no homeland, no security, no government to protect him or her. I think those governments who resent religion, they are afraid of religion, because religion may be, in their eyes, in their views, be seen as a counter-government or a parallel government. A religious person answers to God, not to the elected or non-elected official. Tibet is a tragedy, it's an insult to human decency. And the fact that the religious community is being oppressed and persecuted is something that every single person in the world who has any religious faith and a religious feeling for people who have faith should speak up.
China must be persuaded to release the child without harm, expeditiously, for its own sake, for its own credibility. When a permanent member of the Security Council engaged in this kind of extortion, kidnapping, coercion of an enormously important symbol for an entire people, for an entire belief, not only Tibetans but other Buddhists all over the world, I think it's very serious.
Sometimes Panchen Lama is the teacher for His Holiness Dalai Lama, and sometimes His Holiness Dalai Lama is the teacher for the Panchen Lamas. This kind of disciple and teacher's relations, very important relation.
ganda sayagi tablam öshin tsamba nipe jiga wane tablam ji zaya matuna ade Europe sagu ji mirin damere mangu yesa sagu le nyokta yungu yeba nanshin jigi Asia sagu de nyokta ya pachi shitubari sa dinde so yin disane nyokta ji chung chana ani gyalo jaya di da chita ba sa da de nyokta mo chung ko ne nyokta sewa ji.
One gets the crux of so much of ethnic conflict today, which includes religion. The Christians don't give a hoot about what the Muslims believe, and nor the Muslims about the Christians. It's not the doctrinal differences that divide them. It's this heritage of memory of atrocities unavenged. Now, unless we can break through that, we go into living our lives and history by looking through the rearview mirror. And that's where forgiveness comes in. To forgive is not to condone what was done. What it means is not to allow the past to dictate the future.
Intolerance of difference goes to the heart of conflict everywhere in the world. And what people have to learn is that difference is natural. There's not two people in the whole world who are the same. The answer to difference is not to fight about it, it's to respect it.
In 1991, I was a member of an Australian human rights delegation that went to China and to Tibet, and we were looking at religious repression. And while there is in the Chinese constitution a freedom to worship, I think it's meant to mean a freedom to worship in your own home alone at night when nobody can see you.
In a way, in a very strange, paradoxical way, governments, by repressing religion, give it fuller growth and fuller meaning and fuller purpose, and it flowers even more.
The religious action is the essence of the Tibetan people, really it is. We want to have the happiness. That's why we need to have the cause of happiness. The cause of happiness is the spiritual action.
I think China would, by and large, at this point, be pretty content if Buddhists in Tibet just quietly went about their affairs and didn't involve themselves in life. But alas, worlds aren't so discrete. Economics can't be divided from politics, nor can religion.
对这个小班禅喇嘛的自由是非常重要的，因为现在共产党的做法就是说，他把这两个小孩控制起来，进行那种欺骗性的教育，最后完全改变这个小孩的思想。如果现在不赶紧给这两个小班禅喇嘛自由的话，那么时间长了恐怕就没有什么用了。这两个人可能都被他们给变成一个假的班禅喇嘛了。所以这个时间是非常重要的，时间非常重要。
The Chinese, they don't think it is conceivable now. It's thinking the unthinkable. But one day they're going to have to sit down with the Tibetans. You don't negotiate with friends. You don't negotiate with people who hold the same views as you. I mean, you dialogue with your enemies. You don't make peace with your friends. I mean, you are already engaged in peace with your friends. You talk about peace with your enemy, the one you are fighting. do something now. Help, peace, justice, democracy happen. They can happen.
Current status. Gendan Cherki Nima is believed to be growing up under house arrest. To date, no one from the United Nations, Amnesty International, or any government has been able to see him. It is difficult to solve an issue like the Panchen Lama's detention through the political process alone. Individuals have a crucial role to play. Call, write, get involved.